All right, we want to factor this expression here. How do we do it? Well, to factor three terms, step number one, you got to do the two parentheses. You got to have x's in the front because we have x squared in the front. But also this one has a special deal. He's got y squared in the back. So we're also going to have y's in the back. Does that make sense? You got to match up the letters. So if you have x squared in the front, that means x is in the front. So I'll come down here, I'll write that. So we're going to do two parentheses. We're going to put x's in the front of each parenthesis. Why? Because x times x will make x squared in the front. And then we're going to put y's, change my color here, y's in the back of each parenthesis. Why? Because y times y is y squared in the back. You got to match up the letters. I'm going to say, yeah, but what about x, y in the middle? We'll get to that. It'll actually naturally work out. And now you got to find a couple of numbers. There's going to be a number on this y and a number on that y. There's going to be numbers in the back, and you've got to find those two numbers. And how do you find those two numbers? Well, they've got to A, multiply to equal a minus 72, right? You write multiply over this last number. And they have to also add to equal the middle number. And what number's in the middle? There's no number in the middle, so it's plus 1. Add to equal plus 1. All right, so let's find those numbers. So let's start with, they have to multiply to equal minus 72. So what numbers multiply to be minus 72? 9 times 8. Use your calculator. 4 times 18, 2 times 36, 1 times 17. That's all I can think. Which of those are going to add? They all multiply to be 70. You might say, what about negative 72? Don't worry about it. We'll do the negative stuff in a minute. Just right now, find two numbers that multiply to be regular 72. Now, which of those can possibly add to be plus 1? 9 and 8. So it's going to be 9 and 8. Now, it doesn't matter what order. You put the 8 here and the 9 there, vice versa, whatever. But how do the signs go then? Here's the trick on the signs. So the sign in the middle, the sign right here in the middle, goes on the bigger number, which means it goes right there on the plus, and the other one's minus. You see, because plus 9 minus 8 is plus 1, isn't it? That'll always work. The sign in the middle goes to the bigger number every time. Plus 9 minus 8, plus 1 in the middle. And we're done. That is really the answer. Let me put a box around it because it's wrapped up. It's for Christmas. It's put a bow on it, put a box on it. It's done. That's the right answer. And now let me prove it to you just out of interest's sake. Just to show you that what we did is really true, right, and good. So I'll check it just to show you it's right. Remember how you would multiply? The first one would go to both. And so you would get x squared plus 9xy. Did that make sense so far? That x went to x squared, and x went to 9y, 9xy. He's done. And now the minus 8y is going to go to both. And you'll get minus 8xy. It doesn't matter what order. You might say, well, it's minus 8yx, whatever. X, y, yx order never matters of multiplying. And these two, minus 9 times 8, 72, y squared. Because it's y times y squared. And then these two are like terms. They're both the same letter pattern. They combine. Plus 9 minus 8 is plus 1. xy minus 72y squared. Check. See how this right here is the same as the original? It's true. It's right. It's good. This is the right answer. And again, the order doesn't matter. You could have the minus 9y, or I'm sorry, you could have the 9 coming first, then the 8, but wherever the 9 is, he's got to have the plus sign on him because he's the bigger number. And the 8 has to have the minus. So the order doesn't matter, but the signs in the front do matter. You could have the 9 here and the 8 there, but the 9 has to be the plus wherever he is, and the 8 has to be the minus wherever he is, because the sign in the middle is plus, which has to go on the bigger number, the 9, wherever he is. There we go.